Hello, Pacesetter family. My name is Mr. Berryman, and I'm the principal at Palmdale Prep Academy. With me, I have
Jackie Portillo. I'm one of the secretaries here at Palmdale Prep.
And Teresa Howard, Vice Principal.
and we want to start out by welcoming you to our first ever virtual back to school night.
Le queremos dar la bienvenida a nuestro primer año de Back to School Night, que es completamente virtual.
We're excited to have all of you here with us and give you the opportunity to meet our teachers, see what your students are doing in class every day.
Gracias por darnos la oportunidad de estar con nosotros y esperamos que puedan conocer a sus maestros y hacer cualquier pregunta ahora esta noche.
And it's important for us tonight that we're able to not only introduce you to the school and our teachers, but to be able to give you a process for asking questions and making you feel comfortable.
Le damos las gracias otra vez para estar con nosotros esta noche y para hacer las preguntas que usted quiera sobre las clases que sus hijos están tomando y sus maestros que los atienden.
And I will pass it off to Mrs. Howard, our vice principal.
So with that said, if you have any questions or concerns, please contact me at thoward.abhsd.org. And we hope you enjoy your evening. For our Spanish-speaking families, we will invite you to a Google Meet on Thursday at 3 p.m. to help you with translating the virtual back-to-school night video.
Ella es la directora, la maestra Howard, y le da las gracias por también estar con nosotros esta noche. Si usted tiene cualquier pregunta sobre esta noche de Back to School Night, puede mandarle un correo electrónico a ella directamente. Y igual le invitamos el jueves que a las 3 de la tarde vamos a poder ayudarle a nuestras familias que hablan español para ayudarles a traducir cualquier pregunta o cualquier video que van a ver ahora en la noche y le podemos traducir el jueves a las 3 de la tarde.
We thank you for attending and go Pacesetters!
Go Pacesetters!
Hi parents, welcome to Science 7 and 8. I'm Melissa Beach and I'm the science teacher this year. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. This is my 5th year teaching. I'm super excited about what I plan to teach this year because I'm changing things up a little bit. I graduated from UC Santa Cruz with a degree in anthropology and then went to Brandman University to get my teaching credential. I was born here and raised here in the Antelope Valley, and I actually lived just a couple blocks from our school when I was in 9th grade. I could actually walk there in about 7 to 10 minutes. I have 2 kids of my own, a 15-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son, and 2 cats. In my free time, I'm a photographer and I'm always gardening, almost always gardening. I love creating art and exploring nature. I love hiking and going out and seeing the world as much as possible. So the curriculum I'm using this year was designed by Stanford University. It's Common Core aligned for California standards and NGSS aligned. Those are our science standards. The assessments for this curriculum are project-based and students will be solving real-world problems in each unit. So the final projects, there's 4 of them and there's 1 for each unit. During the unit, students will be learning the concepts they need to complete their unit project well. And they'll be working on that project in my live classes and on their own for homework. Each project is split into 2 parts. One is done by each individual student, and then the second part is completed with an assigned group. For 7th grade, the 4 units are a balanced biosphere, which covers cycles and flows in the ecosystem. Matter Matters is unit 2. This is a focus on water and talks a lot about the chemistry of water and how water and other matter move within ecosystems. Unit 3 is Mimicking Nature's Design, which is about creating artificial ecosystems and healing the damaged ecosystems that we have here on Earth. And then Unit 4 sums everything up with Sustainable Biodiversity, which is basically about how we can move forward into the future without harming our planet any further. For 8th grade, the students also have 4 units. The first unit is called Colossal Collisions, and the students will be studying forces. And at the same time, they'll be studying the solar system and planets and how the forces move everything on Earth. And then Unit 2 is a little bit more of the same. That continues teaching the students about forces in space. Unit 3 is Adapt or Die. So this is about how organisms evolve over time and how extinction works. And then sustaining our world is Unit 4, and this is how we harm our planet and how we can heal it. So a typical day in my classes for digital learning, every class starts with a launch question. This question is meant to gather data that the students can review as a class. It's meant for students to help students learn more about each other. It's meant to get the students thinking about that day's topic. So the launch questions are super important. We spend about 3 to 5 minutes at the very beginning of class doing those. Launch questions are always linked in Google Classroom for students to do if they miss them. And those are part of participation points. Then the learn section, students are going to experience and learn new concepts through class discussions and instruction, direct instruction. Then students will have the opportunity to practice what they've learned with teacher guidance. So students will be using Google Slides a lot, and I can see what the students are doing as they're entering their answers in live. So as I would walk around the class, normally in a classroom, I can kind of do the same thing while I'm teaching live classes digitally. I can walk through the students' slide decks as they're working on them and see what they're doing and give them tips and guidance as to how they can improve their work. And then the last section of class is review. So students are reviewing their work to make improvements and then completing them, turning them in, and completing an exit question before leaving class. Exit questions are just kind of to review the main points of the day and think about how they can be incorporated into the students' lives. The two things that I require from students every day is participation and communication. Participation is actually part of their grade. It's 10% of their grade, which means that if they complete all of the assignments and never participate, they'll only get an A- in my class. So participation is important. And students are pretty much forced to participate. I often call on students to answer questions, and students need to unmute and answer those questions. And then students are also given the opportunity to volunteer answers anytime they want, and they get participation points every time they do that. For communication, it's really important for students to be asking and answering questions during class time, or emailing me with questions, or meeting me during office hours for help. Normally when we're in the classroom, I can see in using like just observation that students are confused. I can see it in their face, I can see it in their body language. So it's easy for me to see when a student needs help if we're in the classroom, but through digital learning it's a little more difficult. So I really need students to make sure they're asking questions during class time or emailing me when they need help. So grading will be as follows. 40% of their grade is classwork or homework. Students will not have much homework in my class. If they complete their classwork, they shouldn't have any homework. If they do have homework, it should be less than 30 minutes worth of homework. And then 50% of their grade is final projects, tests, and quizzes, and 10% is class participation. And then extra credit is going to be very limited, and it's only going to be given out to students who've completed all of their work. I don't want students not doing assignments and then asking for extra credit to make up those missing assignments. So students have to complete all of their assignments before they're going to be eligible to do extra credit to raise their grade. Late work. So it's really important for students to turn late work, or to turn all their work in on time. Because of the way this curriculum works, if they start missing assignments, they're going to fall behind really quickly, and they're going to let down the rest of their team because they are going to be working in teams. So if a student turns in an assignment late, they're going to lose 1 grade level for every day their assignment is late. So for example, if they turn an assignment in early or on time, the highest grade possible is 100%. If they turn it in 1 day late, the highest grade possible is now a 90% or an A-. If it's 2 days late, the highest grade possible is an 80% or a B-, and so on. After 5 days late, the highest grade possible will be a 50%, and that is like any time after 5 days. So they can turn in an assignment 25 days late, and they still are just going to get a 50% reduction of points. And I do encourage students to turn in those assignments. If it's more than 5 days late, 25 out of 50 points is better than 0 out of 50 points. A 25 out of 50 is going to make you have a better final grade than just leaving it a 0. And then if students are too sick to work, or there's another family emergency, just have a parent email me as soon as possible and I will give them an extension. Extensions are usually 1 week of extra time to complete assignments per day of absence. So 1 day per day absence. How can you help? So the biggest thing you can do to help your student and to help me is to check PowerSchool every week for missing, late, or incomplete assignments. So anytime a student doesn't turn in an assignment, I will flag it as missing in PowerSchool. If they turn in an assignment late, I will flag it as late in PowerSchool. And if they turn in something incomplete, I will mark it as incomplete in PowerSchool. So that's a really great way to see where your student's at in my class. Also, you encourage the students to use our tutors or to email me with any questions as soon as they have them so they don't fall behind. And then lastly, just make sure that the students have a quiet space to attend class so they feel comfortable participating. I'm often asking students to unmute their mics and verbally tell me the answers, and I want them to feel comfortable doing so. So if they could be in a quiet space as much as possible, that would be really helpful to both the student and to me and the rest of the students in the class. And then if you have any questions, please email me. My email is mdbeach@avhsd.org. Another way that you can contact me is by joining my Remind class. Each period has their own code. So you can just type in remind.com/join/P2 beach, P3 beach, P4 beach, P5 beach, P6 beach, depending on what period it is. You'll just enter that code in there. And this will add you to my Remind, which is kind of like a text service that students can use and parents can use to talk to teachers. So I think this is a really great way to keep in contact with me. I feel like it's a lot faster for me to get your messages if you use Remind than it is for you to email me. So if you would like to join my Remind, I totally encourage you to do that. And then lastly, my email again is mdbeach@avhsd.org if you have any questions or concerns, and I am super excited to be working with you and your kids this year. Thank you so much.
Hello and welcome to Back to School Night. I'm Miss Cole and I'm your child's English teacher, and if they're really, really lucky, I'm also their AVID teacher, and they get to have me twice. What I wanted to go over for Back to School Night is really just how your child can be successful in my class, some really important things that are in Google Classroom that you should know and your child should know so that we can make sure that everybody's on the same page. English is English. We're going to read and write. AVID is a college readiness course in which students learn reading, writing, organization, inquiry, and collaboration skills so that they're ready for high school and ready to go into college if that's what they choose to do. But really, this is about how your child can be successful and how you can support your child in my class. So I wanted to give you a tour of my Google Classroom so that you could really understand what it is that your child needs to be doing. When you're in a Google Classroom, there are 3 tabs at the top for your child: Stream, Classwork, and People. Classwork is the most important tab. Please make sure that when you are looking for your child's assignments or when you want to check in, we're using the Classwork tab. Within the Classwork tab, there are topics, and all the topics will be listed to the side for easier access as the topics begin to grow. For right now, we only have a few topics. All the work for a certain topic will be found in that topic in chronological order from the most recent to the oldest. So for example, if we were to look in this Unit 1 topic, this topic is going to continue to grow and grow, and the student's work is going to get posted on top of itself every day. If you want to know if your child is keeping up, you can check PowerSchool. But another really easy way is to ask your child to open up their Google Classroom. And then when they have it open, just scroll through it like this. What you want to see is a lot of grayed out clipboards. You don't want to see a lot of colored things. When they're blue, that means they haven't been turned in yet. When they're gray, that means they've been turned in. Now, some things you can't turn in. Anything that looks like this, like a little book with a bookmark hanging over, that's a material. It's not something to be turned in. However, anything that looks like a clipboard or like a question, that's an assignment. And so you want to see it grayed out. You'll also see on the right-hand side the word missing in red if they haven't turned it in yet. So now let's look at some of the links that just stay at the top. These links aren't in topics, so they will always be at the top for you or your student to come back to if needed. The first link is for a counseling appointment with Miss Finch. Miss Finch is our counselor, and she is here to offer mental, emotional, school support to any student who might need it, especially in this crazy distance learning time. Some of our kids might feel disconnected. Some of our kids might feel anxious. Some of our kids might feel overwhelmed with what's going on. Miss Finch is a great person for the students to get connected with. So if you feel, or if your child feels like they need a little bit more support, use that link and make an appointment with Miss Finch. The second thing that I want to point out is the syllabus. So the syllabus is really all the information that you or your child could possibly need from my class. It is like your traditional paper syllabus. It just so happens to be on a Google slide. It's interactive so that you can click on what you're interested in and get information about that. So I want to take you to the teacher contact information page, because this page is probably one of the most important pages on the syllabus, because it's all about how your child or you can get in touch with me. My email is there, my Google Voice phone number is there, and my office hours link is there. Office hours are a great way for your child to get one-on-one help if they need it. All they need to do is go to this link and then choose an appointment time. So they'll go down and they'll see my appointment times, and they'll make an appointment with me so that I can give them one-on-one help. What will happen is they will click on the time and they will fill out the information and they will send it to me. Once I get that, I send them an email back with a Google Meet link that's just set up for your child and I. And you can use this too if you have a very specific question that you have about your child's progress, or if you're trying to help your child with an assignment, you can book appointments with me as well. The next thing I wanted to highlight is the Remind app. So I use an app called Remind to periodically send out important information about due dates and important information about the class. When I first went over the syllabus with your child, I strongly encouraged them to tell you to sign up for Remind. But just in case they didn't, or in case you didn't sign up because you weren't sure what it is, I highly recommend signing up. If you want to get the app, you can get the app. If not, all you have to do is send a text to 81010 with the password for the class. If your child has me for English and Avid, you're going to want to sign up twice. If your child only has me for English, then only sign up for English. That's a great way for me to send you reminders of your due dates so that everybody's on the same page. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is the late slip. This is probably the second most important thing that I'm going to talk about tonight, because it is pretty inevitable. Most students will at some point have missing assignments. It happens when we're in the physical setting. It's going to happen when we're in the virtual setting as well. When kids get to middle school, sometimes parents start to back off and let them kind of look at their own work and let them try to be responsible. And sometimes kids aren't ready for that responsibility and they're still learning it too. So most kids have at least one or two missing assignments throughout the year, which is okay. I accept late work. However, because it's not physical work that a child can hand me, something that reminds me to grade it, I don't know when a student turns in late work unless they fill out a late slip. So a late slip, again, is at the very top of my Google Classroom, and it is just a very simple Google form in which the student will fill out their name, their class period, and the assignment or assignments that they are turning in late. This is the only way that I will grade their late work. I think this is so important for kids and parents to understand. Your child could spend a lot of time trying to do late work. If they don't fill out the late slip, all that work will be for nothing because I won't know that they did it and I'm not going to go search for it. So please make sure, please encourage, please double check with your students that they are turning in the late slips when they're turning in missing work. One more important thing about late slips. I do have a policy where I only grade late work right before grades are due. If I find myself with extra time before then I might grade some late work. But honestly, teaching, having 3 kids of my own, I don't have that much extra time to just grade late work all the time. So I grade the late work right before grades are due. And that is my commitment. I will grade all of your child's late work, but I will grade it on my own time. And my reasoning for that is if the student did the work when they felt like it, I'm going to grade it when I feel like it. And so that could mean that your child has a lower grade than you want them to have, and they're telling you they turned all their work in, and they might not be lying. That could be true. It just is that until I grade it, they're going to sit with the F in the grade book for a little bit. And like I said, if they don't be bothered to turn it in on time, I'm not going to be bothered to grade it right away. So it is just best if kids just turn work in on time. And last but not least is the agenda. Now, I'm going to show you the English agenda right now as an example, but Avid has its own agenda in its class as well. It's in the same place and it serves the same function. So every day I update the agenda slideshow with what we're doing that day and any important due dates. So when kids open up the agenda and they go to the most recent date, they'll see what we're doing in class that day. They will see kind of in order what we're doing in class that day. Anything that's in italics is something that's posted on Google Classroom. If there's any important upcoming dates or information, that'll be in the upcoming box. And in the due dates box is where, of course, their due dates are. Now, I've been trying to make sure that kids understand that my classes, first and second period, that meet on Monday have different due dates than my classes that meet on Tuesday. And it is very important that kids make sure they understand which due date is their due date. If you are ever concerned or curious about the due dates, please just log into your child's Google Classroom and look at this same agenda. It'll give you all the information you need. My office hours link is also found on every single page of the agenda so that kids can find that every day if they need it. And that is the nuts and bolts of my class. I look forward to this year. I'm hoping that we could come back in a physical sense in one way or another. But for now, your kids are doing great. They're very sweet. They're very nice. So far, most of them are very responsible. And we're having a great year so far. So however long this continues, I will be glad to teach your kids. And when we go back to the physical setting, I will be ecstatic to meet you and your kids in person. Have a great rest of your back to school night.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to AVID. AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. We are a class where we help the students with a variety of organizational skills, study skills, help them to prepare for the future, whatever that future is for them. For some it may be for college, for some it may be trade school, for some it may be military. So whatever they have waiting for them, whatever they view that they want to pursue, that's what we're here to help them kind of investigate that and to see if that's something that they want to keep doing. So there's a couple different things I'm going to go through tonight. One is the planner and 2 is my Bitmoji classroom, okay? So first off, the planner, everyone should have picked one of these up when they picked up their Chromebooks. And you can see when you open it, there are the squares and everything for the students to be able to write their assignments in. There's also a place up at the top on the left-hand side to be able to write goals, and then on the right page to write what they're reading, whether it's a book, a magazine, comic book, anything like that. That's a place for them to write on there. I am expecting the students to write something in each class period. They have, right now in the distance learning, they have 23 class periods per week. I expect 23 of these boxes to be filled out. Even PE, because Mr. Pratt's going to have them do something, whether it's keep a food log or keep an exercise log or do 30 push-ups or whatever the case is, that's what they need to write. Whatever the assignment is for each class, whatever they did is what they need to write in their planner. So please make sure that your student is doing that. Everything is worth points. We have a planner check every week, and that's worth 30 points. So 23 of that is to writing in the planner. And I don't care, it says it has the topics up at the top, but if they don't want them to go in that area, if they would rather cross those out and rather go first period, second period, third period, fourth period, that's fine. I do not care. Whatever works best for them, because it's their organization, but they just have to be organized. Then when they are done with the assignment, they check it off. Then, which is very important, after they have turned it in, then they highlight it to make sure that they know that they have turned it in. We've been having problems with people that are getting their assignments done, but then they're not turning it in. So we want to make sure that they do turn it in so they can get credit for everything. And then this is a good way for them to be able to look at their planner and know that the assignment is done and turned in as well. So please ask your student to look at their planner so that you can kind of get an idea of how they are organizationally, okay? And help them to maybe find something to read if they don't have something on their own. The next thing I would like to do is go ahead and go to the Bitmoji Classroom, which will be in Google Classroom. So if you can get to their Google Classroom, oops, I need to present first, sorry. Okay, first, when you go to their Google Classroom, then you see up at the top, Stream Classwork Pupil Grades. When you click on Classwork, you will see this is the Google Meet link for the class. That's how they get on to meet me every day for class. And then the Bitmoji Classroom is right here. Before I get to that, I'm going to go back down here for Planner. Planner, it is the 2 weeks that we've graded so far. When you click on that, there is a step-by-step detailed explanation of what I am looking for their planners. So if you would like to take a look at that, then you'll be able to help your student make sure that they fill out their planner correctly, fully, and get all the points. Okay, under Bitmoji Classroom, you see 2 different entries, Bitmoji Classroom and School Survey. We would love the parents to take the school survey if you have not already. The students already have, but you just click on the link for that. And then it says, what is your role, parent, guardian? And then here where it says, please choose your school. Palmdale Prep is not up here with the high schools. It says Palmdale High School. Do not choose that one. Go all the way down to where it says Palmdale Prep Academy. The junior highs are down at the bottom of the list, okay? So please don't choose Palmdale High School. Then it will direct you to the right pages and give you the questions that you need. Just answer those to the best of your ability, and we would very much appreciate that. Okay, then we have the Bitmoji Classroom, which is my little cartoon classroom. And you can see on here, I've got my little college pennants, and they all mean something. Drake is in Des Moines, Iowa. That's where I got my bachelor's degree. Creighton is in Omaha, Nebraska, where I got my master's. Channel Islands is where my daughter received her bachelor's degree. The Naval Academy is where my son went to college, and then UC Santa Barbara is where he just recently graduated with a math degree. So we have up here on the chalkboard, class expectations, which you could click on that and get the link. We have a supply list, which you can click on as well. And colored pencils, I can tell you right now they're going to need colored pencils. So if you don't have those, please grab those. Syllabus, that of the things that we're going to be doing, right on there. My office hours are 1 to 3. If your student ever needs some help or they're not familiar with something or they need clarification, they can email me or pop in on office hours. And then this is the link to the office hours here. We also have a link to Power School on here, a link to the school website, and then here is a link. It's got the Princeton Review. Your students have access to Princeton tutors, and they will be able to put in a question that they have. The tutor will be able to walk them through that. They get immediate access to the tutor. If they are ever going to write an essay and need the essay proofread, the Princeton tutors would be happy to do that too, but they do need 24 hours to complete that. The other questions, like if they have a math question or something like that, those are handled immediately. And then we have our Costas level house, which I will be going over questioning with the students quite often. We have level 1, level 2, and level 3 questions. Very, very easy to a little bit more complicated as we go up. And so we will be doing a lot in AVID regarding writing and involving inquiry, these questions. We will do a lot of group work. We will do a lot with organization, organizing a variety of different things, and with reading. We call that WICKER, writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading. So that's what we have, and we will be asking the kids to do a variety of different things in AVID, all of them to help them to be better students, to help them be better individuals, better people, better community members, a variety of that. So everything that we do, there's for a reason behind it. And if you ever have any questions, please feel free to get a hold of me. You can email me. If you want to meet, we can do a Google Meet, or I can call you on the phone at your convenience, and whatever works for you. If you do email me and I don't get back to you within 24 hours, please send me another email, because I usually get back immediately or within a few hours. That's my norm. So if I don't get back to you within 24-hour period, it's because I didn't see or didn't receive your email. So please don't get upset with me. Just send another one, and we'll see how it goes. Or have your student send me an email if yours is for some reason isn't getting through. But I welcome you. If you are new to Palmdale Prep, thank you for choosing us. We have a great school, and I hope you love it as much as we do. Thank you, and have a great night. Hi, my name is Jody Finks, and welcome to GTT Intro to Health Careers. I wanted to be able to introduce myself to you, and also to help you be able to navigate Google Classroom and my Bitmoji Classroom, and that way you'll be able to see everything that your student is up to and how you can kind of compare what they're doing to the assignments and monitor if they have done all their work or not. So what I'm going to do is present my screen to you, and you can see what I'm going to talk to you about. First, what I want you to be able to know how to do is, once you get into Google Classroom, then you can see up at the top where it says Stream, Classwork, People, Grades. If you click on the classwork, it brings you to the page where there's a variety of different topics. And the first one is usually Bitmoji Classroom. So when you click on that, a little cartoon classroom pops up. And that has a variety of different links that you are welcome to kind of explore. So on the chalkboard, you'll see the class expectation. There's a link for that, a link for the supply list. Now you should have picked up a big envelope that had the diagrams and the notes for this first quarter in that. And then on the front of that was a supply list. So they definitely need a spiral notebook and colored pencils and a variety of other little things as well. There's also a link to the syllabus. There was a paper, or there should have been a paper copy in the big envelope, but if there wasn't, you can click on that and see that as well. And then you see that my office hours are 1 to 3. And over here to the left, you see a skeleton. If the students click on that, or you can too, because it's fun, I play it all the time. If you click on that, it takes you to a website called Anatomy Arcade. It has the variety of different body systems. And then when you click on the different body systems, it takes you to different games like matching games, a crossword puzzle, word searches, matching. There's this one where you have to whack a bone or poke a muscle, or all these different games. So if your student is playing video games and it's this Anatomy Arcade, it actually is an assignment. Or so, don't get upset with them for playing Anatomy Arcade, because it's a way for them to remember and know all of the bones. Okay, next on the Bitmoji Classroom, you see this is the link to the office hours. This is a link to Power School. Clear over here on the right is the link to our school website. And then here you see a little house. That link takes you to what we call COSTA's level of questioning house. And that's based on 3 different levels of questioning: level 1, level 2, level 3 for very easy, and then a little bit of processing, and then where you have to take a lot of your knowledge and then apply it in a variety of different ways. So as you can see, the level of questioning just increases a little bit for that. For 7th grade, we are going to probably concentrate mostly on level 1 and level 2, but we may get into some level 3s as well. They should be able to start focusing in that area. And the main icon on this page is the notebook. The notebook will take you, or that link will take you to the interactive notebook. The notebook, their spiral notebook that they use, is the most important item that we will be using in class. And as you open it up, you can see that the table of contents is divided into a left side and a right side. And that helps because of the way that your left and right brain do their thinking. There's a whole science behind that. We've studied that a little bit, so your student should be able to fill you in on that. But you can see that 2 and 3 are on the same line, 4 and 5 are on the same line because they're 2-page spreads and they go together. And you can see on the pages that I need page numbers and titles. Then the diagrams usually need to be colored. And then we have the notes as well. And we get into this page here, which we just finished up the other day, and you can see the diagram needs to be colored. Everything needs to be color coded, and it really helps them to be able to think. With their notes, the notes usually go on the right side of the page, and you can see that there's 3 things that they need to do to the notes to interact with them. One is to highlight key information, and the other is to write the questions. This is where that Costa House comes in handy. And then they have to write a 3-sentence summary. And that summary needs to be 3 good complex sentences. Now back to the highlighting, I asked them to get 2 different highlighters. I usually use yellow for the main highlighting because it's easy to see the words through it and it pops out really well. And then their terms, like in this particular case, cartilage and ligament, those would be highlighted in a second color. And that helps to have the terms stick out for them when they look at the page. And we'll be going through these pages, and like I said, it is going to be the number 1 tool for them in this class. Okay, as we get back to Google Classroom, you can see as we go down, we have a title called Ed Puzzles. Ed Puzzles are videos that the kids will be watching, and then it questions them. It stops the video and gives them a question before they can go on. Then, of course, we have quizzes. Both the Ed Puzzles and the quizzes, the students are welcome to retake if they want to get a better grade. The interactive notebook assignments, that's what I was talking to you about with the virtual notebook. However, theirs is, in their hand, not on the computer. So when you look at the pages, the assignment, you will see that I gave direct instruction here on what to do. So step by step on how many points everything is worth is right there. And then also at the bottom of the assignment is going to be a video, maybe like a 3, 4, 5 minute video on how to make sure you're putting the pages together correctly and everything that I am looking for. So there's no reason for the student to not get 100% on their notebook pages. And the notebook's going to be worth hundreds and hundreds of points as we go through this semester. Then you can see at the bottom the class lecture and info and recordings. These are the recordings of the class. So every class I record, and then I will post it here for them if they need to go back, if they missed a class period, or if they just need to go back and to get further instruction. So you can see on Google Classroom, it is just a whole bunch of information for them, and it's given to them in a variety of different ways. So going back from there, I just wanted to thank you and to welcome you to Palmdale Prep. I know some of you because you've had students at our school before, but for the most part, we just are so excited. Even though we're kind of doing this distance learning, the kids are doing great. I am so proud of them. They are excellent, 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 and I can't wait to meet everybody in person. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me. I will get back to you like right away within a 24-hour period. If I do not, please send another email because that means I probably didn't get it because I usually respond immediately. So thank you very much. And if you need me, we can schedule a Google Meet time if you would like, or I can call you on the phone. Thank you and have a great night. Hi, my name is Jody Finks and welcome to GTT, and this is Advanced Health Careers. So I wanted to just kind of briefly tell you about what's going on in the class and how to be able to navigate on the Google Classroom and the Bitmoji Classroom. So I am going to share my screen with you, and this will be able to show you how you can check on your students' work. So if you go into Google Classroom, you will be able to see here up at the top where it says Streams, Classwork, Pupil Grades. When you click on Classwork, you have all of these different topics: Bitmoji Classroom, Interactive Notebook, Quizzes, Lectures, and First Week Activities. When you go into Bitmoji Classroom, you will see one that's right here. It's a little cartoon classroom, which I'll go through that very quickly for you. On the chalkboard, you'll be able to see the class expectations. You can click on that. There's a link for that. The supply list, which was also taped on the big envelope that you picked up when you got the Chromebook as well. That big envelope contained the diagrams and the notes that they'll need for the first quarter of the class. Then we have the syllabus here as well. And that syllabus was also, there should have been a printed copy in the envelope. And here we have a skeleton that they can click on, and when they click on that, it takes them to a website called Anatomy Arcade. It is video games, matching games, a variety of different things that they can do for the different body systems, as you see here on the left. So if you see them playing these video games, it's actually something that I assigned. There's a link here for the office hours. So if the kids ever need me from 1 to 3, they could click right on that. There is also a link to Power School, a link to the school website, and you'll see here a little house. This house is Costas levels of questioning. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3 questions. You may hear the kids talk about that. They're easier questions, and then working a little bit more difficult, more thinking involved in those questions. And we're going to work on all 3 levels. Then, last but not least, the most important is this spiral notebook, and you'll see the kids working in the spiral notebook. And there's also then this virtual one, so you can compare what's in their notebook to what's in here. You'll see the table of contents divided into the left and right side, and then you'll see the different pages that they will have done. and they're set up usually with diagrams on the left-hand side, notes on the right-hand side, not always the same, but very similar. They'll need page numbers and titles. They usually will need the diagrams colored and filled out in some specific way. And then the note side will need 3 different things to it. The notes will need to be highlighted, key information. I usually ask them to use 2 highlighters. One, I use yellow for the main highlighting. They can use what they want. And then I use a secondary color to highlight the terms so that the terms stick out from the notes. Remind your students to don't highlight everything, but because when you highlight everything, the specific things don't stand out. Also, you will see that there is room on the side for 5 questions. They need to give me 2 of the level 1, 2 of the level 2, and 1 level 3 question. That just helps to get them to think a little bit more, interacting with their notes. And then down at the bottom of their page would be a place for a 3-sentence summary. So they need to get as many of the notes, the gist of the notes, into 3 sentences. So that's going to help them in writing complex sentences. So you can just go ahead and you click on these pages and you can see what they have been doing. We're already up to page 9, so you should be able to check on their spiral notebook with this. Now, also in Google Classroom, you will see interactive notebook assignments. Then when you click on these assignments, it will give you a step-by-step in words description of what I am looking for and how many points everything is worth. Then on top of it, there's a video that I made regarding just those 2 pages. Usually it's about 4 or 5 minutes long, if even that long, and it will describe exactly what I need done on each page. So the students have this available for them. They have the interactive notebook available for them. And as well, here's the quizzes. You can see they're always welcome to retake a quiz if there is a grade that they do not like. And then the class lectures, every day that we meet, I record the lessons, and then they can, if they miss a day, or if they need to go back for any reason to watch the recording, it's there. So I just wanted you to be really familiar with how to organize, or how I organize Google Classroom, and how you are able to check on what your student is supposed to be doing. Also on Google Classroom, the dates of the assignments are posted for everything, and you can see what's upcoming and what's due. And if you click on everything, everything is right here for all the assignments. So you feel free to get on their Google Classroom and to be able to check and see how they're doing. I know this is kind of difficult times, but the kids are doing really, really well. So I am very pleased with the work that they're doing. If they need to get a hold of me at any time, they can email me, and if I should email them back, or we could set up an appointment to talk, and same with you. If you would like to talk, I can call you. So just send me an email. I can call you, or we could set up a Google Meet time and just set up for time for talk. All right, well, thank you very much. And again, if you need me, I'm Jody Finks. Thank you. Have a great night.
Hi, my name is Mr. Henze, and I'm a history and gateway to technology teacher here at Palmdale Prep Academy. I'm having you on my website because the information that I would like you to know about your son or daughter's class is in here. First thing I'm going to do is just give you a little bit about myself. On the front of my webpage, I have a little bio. So I graduated from Masters University in 1995, and I got a BA in physical education, and I got a supplementary in history, and then I got my teaching credential. And so I have been teaching since 1998. I started at Castaic Middle School, and I was a PE teacher for about 19 years before I started teaching at Palmdale Prep Academy with history and gateway to technology. And it was a big change, but I'm enjoying it a lot. I've been married since 2001, and I have 3 children. My oldest is a sophomore in high school, my middle is a freshman in high school, and my youngest is an 8th grader in junior high. I also have 3 dogs, and besides teaching, I enjoy the outdoors. I love sports. I love to play them. I love to watch them. I like drawing, and I also like to build with my own hands. So that's a little bit about me. If you go up a little bit on the beginning of my website, it gives a little overview of each of my classes that I'm teaching. But if we go to the website, to 7th grade history, I can show you a little bit more. If your child is in 7th grade history, if you scroll down a little bit, you can see all the different things we're going to be learning this year, from the world in 300 CE, Rome and Christendom, Southwestern Asia, South Asia, East Asia, the Americas, West Africa, sites of encounter in medieval world, global convergence, the impact of ideas, and all of these things kind of happen right as the beginning of U.S. history is starting. So we kind of go from this in 7th grade and we head right into this in 8th grade. And then down here, there's a little bit more information for each one of these. And I don't have them all in there yet. I'm updating as I go, but that's where you can find the information for the class. And it is also very similar for the 8th grade. And at the bottom of both, I have the syllabus for both classes, where you can find information such as, my email, the units we'll be looking at, consequences for good behavior, poor behavior, and grading scales, what to do when you're absent, required materials, late work, and a lot of these policies and procedures are for when we're in the physical classroom. So if we go to 8th grade history, we can see the different topics we'll be studying in 8th grade history, such as the development of American constitutional democracy, envisioning a new America, the divergent paths of the American people, everything having to do with the Civil War, and then finally the rise of industrial America. And I'll be updating all this as well. Here's the syllabus. And then I have the same thing for Gateway to Technology. Right now we are going through design and modeling, which is something from a program called Project Lead the Way. And then once we're done with that, whatever time we have left in the semester, we will look at coding and possibly using Minecraft Education Edition. I'm trying to figure out how to get that working in distance learning, because if we're on campus, it works pretty easily because we're all in the same network. But when we're all at our own homes, it's a little bit trickier. And then lastly, I have a page for resources. So I'm trying to add more and more resources to this page. Right now, I have some how-to videos for Google Classroom, Google Earth, Google Slides, for our digital history textbooks, our digital interactive notebooks. And then I actually have in the digital interactive notebook section for U.S. history and world history, the teacher copy, and then a student copy if you want to do your INBs on your computer. And for you parents who may not know what INB stands for, it stands for Interactive Notebook. And so that is a lot of the information for my classes. And for history class, I am utilizing something called Google Earth, which has been pretty cool. The kids get to look at things around the world, they get to explore, and they're creating projects using Google Earth. And an example of one would be, I'll pull this one up, and you'll be able to see that people are presenting things. They put pictures in here, they're drawing shapes, and there's information that they're putting in here. It's pretty neat. So this is something that we're doing this year with history classes, so they can kind of get an idea of the world that they're living in and where everything is located in relation to us. So that's a little bit about myself and my classes, and it's a bummer we have to do this virtually. I look forward to meeting you all in person and obviously your children. Have a good night.
Good evening and welcome to Back to School Night. I'm Mrs. Ojeda. I'm the math teacher here at Palmdale Prep. I teach geometry, algebra 1, and pre-algebra. All of the icons on this page are clickable with links to different things. You can click over here to go to Big Ideas. This is the homework help through PowerSchool. There's our PowerSchool app, Canvas, Khan Academy, Desmos Graphing Calculator, quizzes, vocabulary. This link here will take you to our Palmdale Prep website. If you need to make an appointment with Miss Finch, our counselor, just click the counselor icon, and you can click the office hours computer to see all the office hours for all of the teachers. Some nuts and bolts for my classes. Each week an assignment sheet for the week is posted on Google Classroom. This will outline the work for the week and includes all of the links to the assignments, notes, and lesson recordings. All assignments are posted in Google Classroom, and most of our assignments will be completed on Big Ideas Math, which is our online math resource. I am live with office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 till 3, and I'm available by appointment on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Simply send me an email for an appointment. My email is tnojeda@avhsd.org. Links to some sample weekly assignment sheets are here. Simply click one of the links to take a look at a geometry, algebra, or pre-algebra assignment sheet. We use PowerSchool for all of our grades and attendance. So grades are updated weekly on PowerSchool, and parents and students can log in to view scores, missing assignments, and current grades. If you ever have questions about your grade or your child's grade, feel free to send me an email and let me know, and we'll discuss what's going on. For late and missing assignments that are missing can be made up for full credit within the quarter. After quarter 1, I will no longer accept work from the first quarter. You have to fill out a missing or late work form on Google Classroom in order to receive credit. If a student makes up the work but doesn't fill out the form, I don't go back and check grades again, so that form has to be filled out. It's very important. If a student misses a quiz or a test, they have to attend live office hours to make up that assessment. So remember, live office hours are on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 till 3. And I will go ahead and show you some more things on my Google Classroom. This is what the typical classroom looks like. The link for our Meet and for our class meetings is always in the banner. Simply click there, it'll take you to the Meet. All classwork is listed under classwork. At the top of my classwork page, I have some important links. There's a link to the missing work form discussed previously. Students will simply click here, they'll enter their name, as well as any assignments that they're missing for me to go back and check their scores. This teacher info page has every teacher's office hours and contact information. And if you need to make an appointment with the counselor, Ms. Finch, simply click on this link here. Everything is in chronological order here. So week 1 is going to be down at the bottom. Week 2, week 3, we're currently in week 4. Assignment sheets are going to be at the top. That's going to be an overview of what we're doing for the week. This is a hyper document, so everything that's in blue is clickable. You can look at the lesson recording by clicking here. You can look at completed notes by clicking the completed notes. The blank notes are the ones that are right above it. This has all of the assignments that we're going to have for the week. It's always posted on Monday mornings. All classwork for the week also is listed here. On Monday, we have 3.1 algebraic expressions. On Thursday is 3.3 solving one-step equations. And on Wednesday, there will be a quiz. So that is my class in a nutshell. I hope you guys have a great night. Feel free to email me if you have any questions.
Hey there, this is Coach Pratt. Welcome to Physical Education. I am your teacher for your student, and I just want to go a few things over with you that we can talk about, how you can access me, what your kids are looking at and what they'll be doing for my class, and just any other information that might be helpful for you as a parent to help understand what your students should be doing each week. One of the things I use mainly is Google Classroom. That is the format that I love to use. I communicate quite often in here, and this is kind of the example of what your students would see. Every time there's a post here, I have the Google Meet code. I'll refresh that and kind of give them new updates That way they are able to find it. So instead of scrolling all the way down, as you can see, there's a lot of questions I ask, some links that will help for uploading some pictures, but we'll talk about that shortly. But this is where most of your kids will find out what they're doing for the week. The other thing that's also important for the kids to know, and yourself, if you want to check their Google Classroom, is this section right here on the left-hand side. It says what's upcoming. And today you'll see by 3 o'clock, we have an attendance question. The attendance question is super important. I teach all the PE for 7th grade at night, and I also teach the 7th and 8th grade at Palmdale Prep. So it's kind of hard to go through each day and take attendance. I would take up most of my teaching time. So I am using basically a question a day for their attendance. It has to be done by 3 o'clock. And I think that's quite fair. And the reason I want it done by 3 o'clock is because that's the time school would be over typically, and allows me some time to go ahead, go back at the end of my day and put in the attendance. And if for some reason your student answers that question after 3 o'clock, if I'm not on my computer, that day's attendance is already done. And so it is important that your student, for attendance credit, answers that question each day that I post up there. And they're not that hard of questions. The questions are just for me to get to be able to know your student and how I can better meet their needs, and just kind of going through some prompting questions that we'll talk about during our meets. In addition, once a week, there's this, our assignments are due. You'll find that every day or every week in there for due on Fridays at midnight. And that's their workout log. Now for their students, what you're going to be looking for, if you come up to the classwork, every day there will be a question up here, and then you'll see where the workout log is for that week that they have to turn in. When they click on that, it has the information, what they're to do for this week. For example, they are going to be doing their own workout. They get to choose what they want, and it's something we'll talk about later on this afternoon, but it's just to inform you what they should be doing is filling out the time they're working out. And I do want pictures. Evidence is important for me. One, I could check out your students' performance and maybe correct some things if they're doing some activities that are not quite the way I want them to be done. In other words, if they're hurting themselves, putting strain on their bodies when they, maybe just looking at their form, and just for me to check in that they're actually doing the workout. You should be seeing your student working out once a day between 20 and 30 minutes. That is what should be going on every single day, Monday through Friday. At the end of the week, they simply will fill that out each day and then submit it to me. Now, some of the kids have done videos. It's either one photo is what I'm asking for right now, one photo for each day, or a short video of their workout. That's suffice for me. The kids are pretty resilient, and I've had some great work turned in. So that's where you would find that. And then the other thing is your attendance question. We can look in here, and as of right now, I have 22 people in this class that have already answered that question for attendance. They will also be on my meet later. So this is where I communicate most of the information for your students, and you can go back and look. Now, one of the things, again, for that attendance is you'll notice that I have all these still in here, these questions. If your kid was marked absent for a day, they can go ahead and back answer these, but they're not going to have attendance credit. Attendance is locked every day, and we can't go back and resubmit it. So once it's done and the day's over with, if they did not answer that question, they will be marked absent. So some of you have emailed me. Again, I appreciate the communication, but just so you know, our policy is, again, 3 o'clock is a fair amount of time that once the attendance is taken, they are marked absent. I'm trying to leave the evenings away from my computer, so I'm not looking at too many things, but please make sure your students in PE answer the daily question. It's up there at 8 o'clock in the morning through 3 o'clock. It stays on. That's when they should be able to go in at any time, and just short answers suffice would be great. This is where I'll do a lot of our stuff. Right now, we're just doing workouts. I showed you that. And the other thing is, Power School. You'll notice that I can't even take attendance today, but inside Power School, you will find in your students, this is each week. I put in week 1, workout log 2 and 3, and that's basically information where you'll find if their work was done or not. And so one of the things that happens in Power School as soon as I upload a score and save it, you'll get a notification if they have a 0 or 100%. It's pretty cut black and white that I just go ahead and make sure that if they did it, they get 100%. If they don't, then I put a 0. I do accept late work. It's very important that your students do go ahead and turn it in. Just because building healthy habits is important to me, and I just want to make sure that they're having a healthy lifestyle during this COVID age right here where most of us are staying at home. I want your students to go ahead and just getting some movement exercises in, so when we do eventually get back in person, that we can just hit the road going and move forward in our classes, and they should be ready and prepared with the cardio strength and endurance. The workouts are not that hard. Like I said, for this week, it's going to be choose your own workout. We'll talk about that later on today. But so far, they've done a high impact, they've done a low impact, and they did like a scavenger hunt workout. So it's a fun class and engaging. We just talk about life during their meets. We talk about the workouts, what's going on, how to answer some of those questions. You're more than welcome to pop in with your students if you like. They have a few parents that I can see in the background, which is awesome. And I have some kids who work out with their parents and send some of those photos as well. And so I encourage you, if you see something that you want to try that your kid's doing that would encourage them, I would encourage you to do it as well. You can reach me. My email, let's see, I can find that for you. My email is djpratt@avhsd. And you can go ahead and email me directly, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Now the kids know where that's at inside there. And so I hope that you are enjoying the time with your kids at home. This is not the way we want this to be, but I love seeing the kids' faces and their workouts, and I'm here to support them in any way possible, and yourself. Again, if you need me, you can email me and I respond to you quite quickly, you'll find. I hope this has answered any questions about my class. And at this point, we're doing workout logs until we might go into some nutrition coming up. But at this point, that's what you should be expecting your kids, seeing them around the house doing some kind of exercise and movement. Thank you for your time, and I hope that you have a blessed day.
Hello and welcome to Back to School Night. My name is Emily Finch and I am one of the school counselors for Academies of the Antelope Valley. Tonight we are going to be doing a quick introduction so you know who we are and how we can help you. So Academies of the Antelope Valley is a charter program that is actually through Antelope Valley Union High School District. So typically our school district goes grades 9 through 12, but over the years they opened Academies of the Antelope Valley, which is actually grades 7 through 12. So we have Knight Prep Academy, which is grades 7 and 8 over near Knight High School. We have Soar Prep Academy, which is grades 7 and 8, and it's over near Quartz Hill High School. We have Palmdale Prep Academy, which is grades 7 and 8, not too far from Palmdale High. And then we have Virtual Academy, which is a pure online program for grades 7 through 12. My name is Miss Finch. I am the school counselor for Palmdale Prep. I also am the school counselor for Virtual Academy high school students that are zoned for Eastside High, Highland High, and Palmdale High. I live in Los Angeles near UCLA. This is my 8th year being a school counselor. I love being a school counselor because I love helping students and families be successful. The best way to get a hold of me is through my email address, which is listed there, edfinch@avhsd.org. You can also schedule a video conference with me using my scheduling website, which is listed there, finchemily.youcanbook.me. This year, we also have a counseling intern, Miss Swafford. She is currently working on her master's degree in school counseling at Cal State Northridge. This year, she will be doing her practice hours at Palmdale Prep. She graduated from Little Rock High School and has been working with our school district since 2011. She loves spending time with her family, her 8-year-old daughter, and watching sports. So you may be hearing from her as well. Now, what do school counselors do? School counselors help you across a number of domains. And one domain that we help with is social emotional supports. We offer supports for our students one-on-one for social emotional issues, as well as in groups. Maybe your student isn't getting along with their friends or different family members. We are here to support their personal growth. We are also here to support their academic growth as well. We help with small group lessons, with classroom presentations, and educational plans. We also help with college and career planning as well. We also make a number of referrals to help you find community resources like housing, healthcare, and things like that. We also help with, when we speak with students, everything that they say to us is confidential. Now, and the only exceptions to confidentiality are if there's a threat to someone's safety or if they give us permission to share. Things that are not confidential are a student's attendance records or a student's grades. But if a student tells us that they don't get along with a certain teacher, or if a student tells us that they need help with getting along with friends, then everything like that remains confidential. We are super excited to work with your student, and we can't wait to support your student and your family throughout this school year. Welcome to Palmdale Prep.